Now, without not taking time, I will request Professor S.Y. Shah to kindly provide the insights of this paper, Role of International Organizations Network in Adult Education and Lifelong Learning. This is very, very important. And Rameswar, kindly see that it is properly recorded, because this will be useful and this will be available on our site. And you also know that now university has started the recording of some important sessions, which may be available for the students and scholars on a regular basis. So, sir, now you can start. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So, good afternoon. I am very happy to take this session. In fact, I first developed this course and taught in 2013 at Duisburg SN University, and then 2017 at Uzburg University, now 2021 at Delhi University. Every 4 years, it seems this course is being, I was able to teach this course, but most of these PPTs were made at that time, but I have updated wherever it is relevant, because this is just giving an overview. I am not going in detail. It is only a bird's eye view of all these things, because this entire course will take about 30 hours of teaching. So this I am trying to club in 30-40 minutes so that you get an overview. Are you able to listen clearly?
Yes, sir. Yes, you are audible, sir. You are audible.
Audible. So that is the purpose of this thing, is to just to give an overview. Then you can always, look for it in detail, thoroughly. So now there are several organizations, international level, national level, in the field of adult and lifelong education. So it is not easy to list all the organizations. In different countries, there are different organizations, and Asia has its own organization, world has its own organization. So I am just trying to give an overview of global organizations in the field of adult and lifelong learning. And I try to, classify this organization. I don't know, it is running. 1 minute.
No, the last one has come, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. No. ये पता नहीं क्यों, why it is.
Yeah, again the last one has come, sir. ये yeah, again the last one has come.
आप सर जिस पीपीटी पे आप क्लिक कर रहे हैं उसे क्लिक करके मेन पीपीटी मेन जो स्क्रीन है उस पे आप क्लिक करें.
Okay.
Now, yeah, it is there, sir.
Now I am going to talk, classify this organization. There are organizations which takes interest in adult education in a limited way. There are some organizations we have special interest in adult education. And then thirdly, I am giving an overview of UNESCO and UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning, because this is the organization that is. ये इतना भाग क्यों रहा है? I don't know. This is very unusual. Somebody is also managing this PPT from there.
रामेश्वर, तुम्हारे पास तो नहीं है कॉपी? Can you manage, रामेश्वर? नहीं.
No, sir.
No.
तुम्हारे में है? No, Vijay is trying, sir.
Okay. So these are the broad way, 3 ways I have classified this: organization having limited interest in adult education, organization having a special interest in adult education, role of UNESCO and UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning. Now, organizations having limited interest in adult continuing education one is OECD. It is working in 31 countries. They also have a lot of adult education skill development program in a limited way. Then UNESCO, in 191, it has members in UNESCO. It is also involved in adult education in a broad way, but it has a specialized institute, UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning, which focuses on lifelong learning. Then third organization is World Bank. World Bank operates in 184 countries. They also have a special program for adult education, literacy, lifelong learning. Then Action Aid is an important NGO, which is also working in 42 countries. They also have a lot of programs in adult education. Then there is Open Society Institute operating in 62 countries. They also have a lot of programs in adult education. Then there is Commonwealth Foundation. They also have a lot of programs in adult education. Then there is Commonwealth of Learning. Then Aga Khan Development Network, World Literacy of Canada. I must tell you, the World Literacy of Canada, after 50 years of functioning, they have closed down. Today, if you look at the website, you will not get any information, but there are a lot of publications brought out by World Literacy of Canada. World Literacy of Canada has played an important role in setting up the Literacy House in Lucknow and World Education Fellowship. You must have heard the name of Wealthy Fisher, who came to India and set up the Literacy House in Lucknow. So World Literacy of Canada, till about 10 years back, they had an India office at Varanasi where they operationalized several programs. So we have Indian Adult Education Association had a lot of collaboration with World Literacy of Canada, but unfortunately now there is no information available on the net. Already, if some publication books are there, you will be able to get it. Then now let us come to organization having a special interest in adult education. In this sort, International Council for Adult Education, established in 1972, is a global network of 7 regional bodies: Arab countries, African countries, Asia, Caribbean, Europe, Latin America, and North America. They represent about 800 NGOs, regional, national, international level. They operate in 75 countries. India also, ICAE has been playing an important role. Then second important organization with a special interest in adult education is European Association for the Education of Adults, EAEA. It is operating in 142 members. It has 142 members in 44 countries. Then third is Asian South Pacific Association for Basic and Adult Education, established in 1964. It has 200 members, operate in 300 countries. ASBE had a regional office in Mumbai till last year. Only last year they shifted the regional office to Philippines. Otherwise, they had a good presence in India. ASBE, they work in several Indian NGOs like PRIA, Indian Adult Education Association, and everything. Then we have fourth, the Assam Education and Research Hub for Lifelong Learning, established in 2005. It is an official network, 35 Asian and European higher education institutions operating in 25 countries. Then you have Adult Learning Documentation and Information Network called Aladdin of the UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning. Then you have European Society for Research in Education of Adults, which consists of 11 research-based network and several individual researchers from Europe. Now let us go a little bit, about the international ICAE. It is a strategic network that promotes adult learning as a tool for active citizenship and informed participation of people. Its focus is more on liberal adult education. They are very activist, group of people. Several NGOs are very active in ICAE. ICAE's mission is to promote lifelong learning as a necessary component for people to contribute creatively to their communities and to live in independent and democratic society. Adult and lifelong learning are deeply linked to social and economic justice, equality of gender relations, universal right to learn, living in harmony and environment, respect for human rights, recognition of cultural diversity, peace, and active involvement of women and men in decisions affecting their life. So they are a very activist group of NGOs, they are very big force at the international forum, especially in UNESCO and World Bank and all these organizations. ICAE is an NGO of former consultative status with UNESCO and United Nations Economic and Social Council. So they have a powerful voice in several world bodies. What are the different activities of ICAE? Advocacy and policy coordination mechanism, capacity building for lifelong learning, training of trainers, facilitators for non-formal youth and adult education, inclusive education, gender and education, education for youth, media literacy, interculturalism, innovation and regional approaches to literacy, integral approach to youth and adult education, global citizenship education. ICAE has an important follow-up mechanism, and they monitors the actions of UN Summit, United Nations Summit and conferences, especially SDG, Confindia, EFA, as well as MDG. ICAE used to bring out a specialized publication called Convergence, which has been discontinued, but old issues are still available on their website. But they have a weekly bulletin called Voices Rising, which disseminate general, regional, national information and facilitate the link between local and global spaces, promote the exchange of reflection and diverse practices of social inclusion. So if you want to know more what is happening in Asia, you look at the Voices writing. You know, all the previous issues of this bulletin is there. It tells what has happened around the world, who is doing what, everything. So that is a very important publication for you to refer. Then one important activity ICA does every 4 years to organize a World Assembly. Last assembly was held in Montreal, and every 4th year they organize assembly in which all 800 NGO representative come. It is a huge, one of the biggest conference in the field of adult education. And they also have an International Academy of Lifelong Learning Advocacy for advocacy leaders. It is a course, 3-week course focuses on generating a broader vision on adult education within the framework of human right and active citizenship, and developing linkages and, most important, globalization issues that affect the world. ICAE is governed by Executive Committee of 9 elected members representing the membership of the Council. Executive Committee is elected every 4 years at the General Assembly. This organization website is also a very rich source of lot of information what NGOs are doing in the field of adult education. Then come Asian South Pacific Association for Basic and Adult Education, ASBE. They work towards promoting quality education for all. Mission is to advance and defend the rights throughout the Asia Pacific region to learn and be able to go on learning throughout their lives in order to gain control over their destiny. They have 4 important activities. One is policy advocacy, advancing the broad SDG agenda within the commitment to advance lifelong learning. It focuses on research, lobbying, promoting public education and awareness. Second important activity is leadership and capacity building. Its purpose is to build a corps of leaders in the Asia Pacific that will take education agenda forward. They have been running basic leadership development course of 1 week for the last several years. Then third activity is developing strategic partnership with organization and institution committed to basic and adult education, learning, gender justice, equity, peace. Fourth is institutional capacity building to ensure that proper mechanisms are in place to secure the right of all to the quality education and learning opportunities. And they also work in different areas like HIV, AIDS, education for active citizenship, education for peace, education for displaced people, and all this, they work in most of the areas concerned with adult education. So if you want to know more about adult education organization, non-governmental organization in Asia Pacific, then you must look at the website of ASBE. Then another important organized network is a Aladdin, Adult Learning Documentation and Information Network. It is a global network of networks of documentation and information centers in the area of adult learning. Main objectives are networking and capacity building. It facilitates informed policy making, research and program development by making accessible, relevant documentation and continuously updated information on adult learning. They have developed 2 capacity building program, toolkit for setting up documentation centers, self-learning package for adult educators. Both the courses are free of access. Anybody can access it, adopt it and use it. Part of this Aladdin network, Aladdin India has developed a sub-network of 100 documentation center, institution of adult learning and literacy in the country. It is started work in 2006. 2006 and 8, Aladdin India developed a comprehensive learning package of adult educators called PALDI, Participatory Adult Learning Documentation and Information Network. Then we come to this, as I mentioned, the toolkit. This is the front page of the toolkit. If you go look at that website, you will get all the information how to set up a documentation center. Small NGOs, this will be very useful. They can't afford a librarian or any other thing. So how to set up a documentation center, how to catalog the tools, how to contact different agencies. So it gives a very brief idea which will help a small NGO to set up documentation center. Second important activity of this was the PALDIN, Participatory Adult Learning Documentation and Information Network. This is a capacity building program developed under the aegis of Aladdin India. And it contains two learning packages. One is participatory lifelong learning and information and communication technologies. Second one is called documentation, dissemination, and these are 2 volumes of the self-learning materials developed. It contains 31 units, general issues around adult learning literacy with particular focus on information management in an adult learning setup. It talks about creating a literate environment, use of ICT, basic library management, networking, participatory methodologies. So this is a very innovative course. This has, and its print is what it is. This package is learning package is available on UNESCO website. All these materials are prepared on voluntary contribution by several adult educators from India and other countries. So if you look at these 2 packages, you will get a lot of resource materials which can be useful for different topics. Then come to Assam Lifelong Learning Hub. This is an official network for university cooperation in lifelong learning research between Asia and Europe. It was conceived as a platform for dialogue between researchers and education policy makers. Main objectives of Assam Lifelong Learning Hub is carry out joint comparative research to produce new knowledge and share experiences, facilitate dialogue and interface between educational research and policy making, improve research quality and research capacity of partner universities, exchange students and academics, disseminate knowledge, research policies in lifelong learning, strengthen relationship and increase mutual understanding between Asia and Europe. It has a council for university management representative. It's an advisory board of ministerial representative. It has 6 research networks. And these are the 6 research network of the hub. They are coordinated. It started with Denmark. First, it was coordinated by Danish School of Education, Aarhus University, 2008 to 2018. Currently, the secretariat is located at the Department of Adult Continuing Education, University College Cork in Ireland, under the chairmanship of Professor Seamus. 6 important network. First network is eAssam, Digital Learning Management System, Techno-Pedagogical Skill and Knowledge Network Communities in Lifelong Learning. Second network is Workplace Learning. Third network is on professionalization of adult teachers and educators in Assam countries. Fourth network is National Strategies for Lifelong Learning. Fifth is Lifelong Learning Transitions. Sixth is Learning Cities and Learning Regions. So then we come to European Association for the Education of Adults. It is also an important organization based in Europe, established in 1953. It has headquarters in Brussels. It is an NGO with 142 member organization in 44 countries. It represents more than 60 million learners Europe worldwide. Its purpose is to create a learning Europe. It undertakes following activities: advocacy work, providing resources, offering information, establishing network, creating a community, and publication. It has brought out a manifesto for adult learning in the 21st century, which gives an overview of topics on and values that are important to AEA. Its main activities are campaigns, monitoring policies, statements, country reports, working groups. European Society for Education on the Education of Adult is ESRIA. It is also an important organization. Where did we go? What happened?
ESRIA क्या हुआ नीतीश? मुझे लगता है कुछ क्लिक हो गया सर.
कहाँ क्लिक हुआ? Okay.
आगे.
Okay. European Society for Research on the Education of Adult, ESRIA, is promote, disseminate theoretical and empirical research on the education of adults, adult learning in Europe through research network, conferences, publication. Its active members come from most part of Europe. Its objectives are to encourage and support advancement of high quality research on the education of adult in the European countries, to encourage cooperation in comparative research in the European context, to stimulate the development of research and dissemination of research results in the area of adult continuing education, to encourage training of young researchers and continuing professional development of researchers, to establish positive working relation with other European organizations and appropriate national organizations. Its secretariat is located at the Division of Education and Adult Learning at Linköping University in Sweden. Then these are the different networks under the ESRIA. They have a network on access, learning, careers, and identity, active democratic citizenship and adult learning, network on adult educators, trainers, and their professional development, network on working life and learning, network on history of adult education and training in Europe, network on gender and adult learning, network on life history and biography, network between global and local adult learning and development, network on migration, transnationalism, racism, network on education and learning of older adult, network on policy studies in adult education, network on interrogating transformative process in learning and education. These are different networks. All these networks, I am telling you, many of doctoral students, master's student, faculty can become member of these networks, so it will be a good platform for you to collaborate and cooperate. You go to these organizations are open to many people.
They're separately working, sir. These
networks. Each network has its own president, secretary, members. So depending on your interest, you can join whichever network you want under ESLA. But its main focus is on Europe. But you can also participate, take a comparative studies between Asia and Europe. So if you go to their website, you will get details of each network, who are the members, what are they doing. So these networks are according to their specific interest. There are a lot of people have interested in very minor aspects of history of adult education. So you need a group who are doing these things. So anybody can become member of that. All these network, which I have discussed, as people can become members. ICAE, we can become member. ASBE, you can become member. ESRIA, you can become member. ASM, university collaboration, you can become member. They have network, they are reviving that network. They have set up their office in Ireland. So I had sent one link to Professor Rajesh and Nidish. You attended their one meeting in the early, So you should take active interest. You can join any network. You send your CV and show that you are interested in joining this network. They are open. So these are the things which are working. Those who are working in the field of adult education should join some of these networks. At least you subscribe to their newsletters, you get all the info. So you will keep update what is happening in the field of adult education globally, and different Asia, Europe, Africa, and all these places. This will come. Now we come to second important part is the UNESCO. We have to focus. What is the role of UNESCO? UNESCO has four important functions. One is awareness raising. Second is normative functions. Third is technical assistance. Four is promotion of international cooperation. These are the four major role of UNESCO. And under awareness raising strategies, they organize International Literacy Day since 1960. It is to raise the awareness. Then they also held, to enhance the importance of literacy. They declared 1990 as International Year of Literacy. So that is also a strategy to raise the awareness. Then they also set up one decade, 2003 to 2012, as literacy decade. During that decade, they brought out a publication. It has several important papers, a huge volume of publication, literacy decade, So what happened around the world? Then another important activity of raising awareness raising is World Conference of Education for All. UNESCO organized several world conferences in Jomtien and Dakar and other places. Then they also organized policy dialogue on lifelong learning. When lifelong learning came up, they said different countries, region, people should be made aware of the importance of lifelong learning. So they organized a conference in Hyderabad, lifelong learning, what they call policy dialogues in lifelong learning. First policy dialogue was held in Hyderabad 2002. Second dialogue was held in 2004. Fourth was in 2006, South Korea. Sixth was in Indonesia. So many dialogues they held. In this, basically all the administrators, academicians, researchers participated and they brought out this thing. So these dialogues have brought out publication which can be very relevant for you. Then second is normative functions of UNESCO is making recommendation for legislation, providing guidelines, public reporting and monitoring, documentation, publication and dissemination. Aladdin is an important activity of UNESCO. So these are some of the normative functions of UNESCO. Then third important functions of UNESCO is providing technical support. They provide technical support to different countries in program development, training, research studies, and evaluation. 1960 to 80, UNESCO used to give aid. It is one way. 1980 onward, they started collaborating. It is both ways. They set up collaborative programs. Then fourth important function of UNESCO is promotion of international cooperation, which is done through seminars, conferences, workshop, travel fellowship. These are some of the broad ways in which UNESCO has been operating. Then comes UNESCO organized, as I told you, every 12 years, there is a world conference organized by UNESCO. First was done in 1949 in Denmark, and about 79 delegates from 14 countries participated. Second world conference, 1960 in Montreal, 200 delegates from 51 countries. 1972 in Tokyo, 400 delegates from 82 countries. 1984 in Paris, 900 delegates from 122 countries. 1997 Hamburg, 1,507 delegates from 130 countries. Last conference was held 2009 in Belém, Brazil. 1,100 delegates participated from 144 countries. So this is a very important platform for UNESCO to spread their ideology and programs and activities and everything. And you must know some of the important publications of UNESCO. You see, most important publication has been 1972, Learning to Be. Then 1985, Paris Declaration, Right to Learn. 1996, Learning the Treasures Within, which started the debate about lifelong learning. Lifelong learning started, becoming more public with this document. 1997, they brought out Hamburg Declaration on Adult Learning. And 2000, they brought out Dakar Framework for Action, Right to Education. 2006, Global Monitoring Report. 2008, Global Literacy Challenge. 2010 onwards, every 4 years, they brought out Global Report on Adult Learning and Education to which is called GRAIL 1, GRAIL 2, GRAIL 3, GRAIL 4. Now GRAIL 5th work is going on, which will come out next year. These are some of the important documents. If you don't read anything, if you read Global Report on Adult Learning, GRAIL, it will give an overview of development, what is happening, which organization is doing, how discussions are going on around adult learning and education, what are the structural changes, what are the focus of literacy program, how it has changed over all this information in a nutshell you will get from GRAIL. So GRAIL is an important document for those who are working in the field of adult education. Now let us come to UNESCO. Is a very huge organization. It has several institutions. For those who are in the field of lifelong learning, the focus should be on UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning in Hamburg. It is one of the 7 educational institutions. We have also an educational Mahatma Gandhi Institute in Delhi, established by UNESCO. So this Institute for Lifelong Learning in Hamburg is the key organization which discusses lifelong learning. And earlier it was known as UNESCO Institute for Education. Then in 2006, after the UNESCO document has come out, they changed the name UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning from 2006. Its focus is on dissemination of the discourse on learning through scholarly publication And one of their important publication is International Review of Education, is a bi-monthly journal. It has every people who are working in the field of lifelong learning will publish in this journal. This is one of the oldest journal, and it contains very important papers on lifelong learning around the world. Some papers on India are also being published in this journal. Then UNESCO Institute has one of the largest library on adult and lifelong learning. What are their activities? One is conducting policy research and analysis as an important activity of the UIL, providing technical assistance and capacity building activities, supporting policy dialogue and networking on national, international, and regional levels. Their program focuses on the following areas: lifelong learning policy analysis, recognition, validation, accreditation of non-formal and informal learning, national qualifications framework, learning cities, promoting effective present education policies and practices. Then currently they are doing following 6 important projects. They are preparing an international directory of lifelong learning. They are bringing out a collection of lifelong learning policies and strategies. UIL has a global observatory of recognition, validation, accreditation of the outcomes of non-formal and informal learning, global inventory of regional and national qualification framework, UNESCO global network of learning cities, international research project, which may be interested to many academicians, contribution of higher educational institution to lifelong learning. These are some of the ongoing programs. But most important, anybody who is working in the field of lifelong learning should spend a lot of time searching the website of UNESCO Institute for Lifelong Learning. They have several important, databases. If you want to know lifelong learning in different countries, there is a site in their website. You go, lifelong learning policies in different countries. They have innovative program, a lot of information on innovative program of different countries in lifelong learning. So it is a rich source of all the information, latest research in the field of lifelong learning, publications in the field of lifelong learning, and they also give several different type of scholarship fellowship. They have Confindia fellowship, they have scholarship, they have visiting scholarship, where faculty or students can go and spend 1 month there to use the library. Those who are working in the field of research can go. You can apply, send your CV about your research topic. You can spend a month at UIL library. So you will be able to attend these things. So UIL is an important, organization. If you are learning lifelong learning, you must have a thorough knowledge of lifelong learning. You can establish contact with them. Next, their world conference will be held in Morocco. So if you are interested, you be look out. You can also attend the World Conference next year in Morocco, lifelong learning. So a lot of, important activities are happening in UIL. So this is, organization which you can't miss. This is even if you look at their library, you can access the important publication from their library online. Many PDF files are there. So this is, I would say, spend a lot of time on this search because it has so much information. It will not be apparently seen. They bring out an annual report. It gives a latest annual report is on their website. They bring out a newsletter which talks about the ongoing program. So a lot of, potentialities are there for young scholars. When I was teaching this course in Uzbek, I took a group of the students, the 12 students who were offering the course to UIL field visit. So it was only 2 hours from Uzbek to Hamburg. So we went there in the morning. They welcomed all the students. Different experts came and talked about their different activities. We spent the whole days at UIL, so this is one, but from here it will be difficult to organize any field trip, but you can do, virtual field visit to the UIL. Go to their website. There is a film also there about UIL, how this organization building is there. Director is talking about the UIL building, how it is an old historic building. They show the library. So a lot of, thing. I work very closely for about 10 years with UIL. Then we developed the PALDIN course, Participatory Adult Learning Documentation and Information Network. I am also a member of their advisory committee. So, this is a very important organization. And last 10 years, only 2 people from India got this scholarship to spend 3 months there to work on a topic of their interest. So young scholars should be visiting the website of these organizations. You will come to know about conferences. You will come to know about latest publication. You will come to know about collaborative thing. Now, those who are interested in the university, awesome network on professionalization. That website is there in Ireland. You look at their website and a lot of activities are going on. ASBE is another important organization. They all do a lot of, webinars also, ASBE and ICAE, ASBE, UIL. If you look at these 3 organizations, you will come to know what is happening around the world in the field of lifelong learning. So this is very briefly, I try to run through different organizations. My purpose is not to go in detail, but to tell you there is such an organization exists there. Now, assignment is given for each student. I gave, look at the website and write an essay on that, 10 pages. You visit, each student was given one organization. You just based on their website, you write a paper on that. What are their activities? When was it established? What are their important publication? What were their innovative programs they did? So such an assignment can be given to student who is offering this course. And, so this is a very interesting course. So you don't have to read anything. You just focus on their website and then take notes of it and write a paper. So this will be very interesting assignment for those students who have taken this course. Maybe Professor Rajesh can consider, giving such, assignment based on virtual visit to this organization. Okay.
Certainly, sir.
This is the purpose. This is in brief. I just planned for 30 minutes. So exactly 30 minutes, 30 slides were there. So I just introduce you some of the important organizations globally and Asia-wise and internationally, UNESCO Institute. So my request is to go to each organization, spend a day on their website looking at different things. Lot of material of interest to you will be there. Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your very, very valuable input on the international organizations. And now I realize, because I hope I was 80% here, 20% I was here and there. So as far as I see, most of you were there, I hope, for 100%. And now I think Rameswar, it will be available, and also kindly see that on our department website, it is available. Some of our scholars like Nitish, Deepak, and some of you might have joined. Even those who have opted this, Parnita and others are there. Sir, I understand how it is very important, this paper. And this paper is not only a paper. In fact, it is an international opening to the lifelong learning. Right. And as I see the concern of Professor S.Y. Shah, and also my concern that you see that those scholars who are opting this paper and those who are in researches, they must do a kind of a virtual tour and also see that, as he mentioned, that UIL workshop where Professor Shah was himself a fellow, and Professor Vandana Chakravarti recently, Dr. Anita Priyadarsini, they were the fellows of UNESCO Institute of Lifelong Learning. And in international organization, we must take the advantages of the linkages of Professor S.Y. Shah in international organization. You must be knowing that I do not have the linkages with the Ujjwal University Professor Regina. I got through Professor S.Y. Shah, and the result is most of us, including all faculty members, could get the DART fellowship, UGC fellowship, and visited Germany. Unfortunately, for 2020-2024, we could not do the MOU, Now with the help of you research scholars and students, and with the help of Professor S.Y. Shah, again we will see that some of international MOUs could come and you get the opportunity. But this will be a institutional kind of a thing. Those scholars and students have interest in these areas, can have a lot many options of opening scholarship for their career. And as sir, I see that in this area national level there is a very what you call lack of young scholars who are working in lifelong learning. Institute is there for the sake of the Institute University of Delhi. We are there. There are several institutions at national level departments. But if we work very seriously and if we take the academic advantages of Professor S.Y. Shah in this area, we will certainly be able to develop the international linkages, and you can have the international publications also in course of time. So I hope that we all will go for a virtual tour of International Institute of what you call UNESCO Institute of Lifelong Learning. Other areas that Professor S.Y. Shah has just told, you can again go through the video recording which will be available. Where are the gap we can see, and we can come out either today or later on when we'll call next time to Professor S.Y. Shah for having a detailed insight on this. We know that it is a paper in 4th semester, but I don't think so this is a paper. In fact, this is a direction. This is a future direction of our department, that how we internationalize our lifelong learning through the young scholars, because in new education policy, which is now a reality in India, internationalization is a very, very important component. So whatever you have to ask, you can ask question Professor S.Y. Shah, or we'll see that how later on we can further work out on that, you see. Yeah.
Yeah, that is rightly said. My problem is there is a lot of potential scope. I am looking at young scholars who are really interested in lifelong learning. Right. They said you recommend somebody. I am not able to see whom do I recommend, who is showing keen interest. Unless you have deep interest, you will not enjoy. If you have deep interest, you will enjoy reading and writing. Then there is no problem. So if you enjoy what you are doing, then only there is some research is, it does not make any sense just to working for a degree. So if you are interested in a topic, take it, look deeply. Now, fortunately, because of website and internet, you don't physically go to all libraries, institution. In our time, we had to physically go to one institution, their library to. Now you sit here, you can search the entire UNESCO Institute library. You can look at their back issues of the journal. Very interesting articles on your interest topic will be there. And one way is to get in correspondence with the authors who has written that article, if that area interests you. That is the way to develop. Then later, if you want to go do PhD, then you would have established a contact with that scholar, much before. So they will guide you, you write a paper, so this is gradual way of you read their papers, you correspond with them. This is the way to establish contact, because you cannot be able to attend all international conferences, meet them physically now, but you can always read their papers. Now, most of the papers are very free, open courseware, everything is available on net. Academia, you go there, you will get ResearchGate, you go there, you write your topic, you see who has written the papers on this thing and look at them. And if it interests you, you want to work in their area, correspond with them. They will be happy. I don't think any professor will say, why did you write to me? No, they will be too happy. A lot of fellowships are there in different. Only thing is that you be on the lookout. These are the organization, ICAE, ASBE, UIL, all these organizations have this network. The professors are there. So be in touch with them. It is a very nice way, now everything is on cell phone. You can read articles sitting while traveling. all important articles are there. If you read only one journal, UNESCO International Review of Education, you will come to know everything. It publishes, it brings out every 2 months, 10, 12 articles on different topics. And you should also aim to write and publish in that journal. If you are able to publish an article in that journal, nothing like that. It is a well-recognized journal. So start looking whichever area interests you, look at all their website, spend a lot of time, searching their website. One point will lead to UIL. I have noticed, if you click one, then it clicks to another, you will get a lot of information, which I myself did not know till other day. When I was looking, there's a lot of important information, databases, policy information, so many things are there. So you correspond with them. Anybody who finds interest, write an email to them, talk to them, and then see which area you want to work. Ultimately, if you are in academics, you want to write a paper and publish a paper. So what is the best way to interact with the academician who has done work in that area? So you are in an advantageous situation with Delhi University, like prime of the center, So you make the best use of it. Now with this pandemic, we have only to, through the Zoom seminars, we cannot meet face to face.
Anyway, this is a virtue also, sir. I think those, if we remain positive, and this gives us, if we are quarantined at home, we have enough time to read. We have time to go through the materials. We have time to, so researchers or young faculties have enough opportunities, I hope, sir. Even in this pandemic, there are some opportunities that they can work it out on, sir.
If this is a course being offered, after the introductory, you have to assign each topic to each student, and they will go through it and make a presentation in the class, so that they will also thoroughly see, others can listen. This is how I have been teaching there. Then once some topic researches, then can be group of 2-3 students can look at the research aspects undertaken by. So a lot of group work can be done, individual work can be done after this introductory lecture. So you must, if student you want to give credit, give them the assignment, give them this job, so that they do at their own pace.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay. I think how many are there for 4th semester, Parnita, here?
Sir, 4 of us are there.
You?
Sir, I am there. Sia is there, Abhijata is there, and Tanu was there, but now she is left. So only 3 of us are there right now.
So you all 3 for 4th semester, if you wish, you can just decide the date where you will make a presentation, and Professor Shah will be the expert for giving the things. And you can decide that you can all 3 work on one, or you will work for. So diary is here, we will write the date.
Yes, sir.
You can select the topic also. Maybe UIL, all 3 you can work it out.
There are different aspects of UIL, their research studies, their training program, their publication, so many things. They can work on each aspect.
Sir, on the same lines, I would like to highlight that this has already been initiated by Vandana ma'am.
Okay.
She has already allotted one topic per student, and in the coming next 2 weeks, we have to do a presentation on that. So maybe whenever Shah sir has time, we could invite him for the same, and then once the date is finalized, we can do it.
Okay. If you have already homework, then it is all right.
That is fine.
In fact, that is very fine. That is very fine. But whenever you need some help, or our experts will provide you that kind of a thing, because Parnita, this is very important, because these papers are the international papers. And I must admit that such kind of exposure among even our faculty and researchers are not available. So in each paper I see, which we have included, these papers are not only the content, but these paper must be delivered in such a way. So such kind of expert, things are also available. So you go ahead on that kind of a thing. Whenever you need the kind of presentation, I will ask Vandana to do kind of a thing. But it might be that, I don't know, she might have some problems in taking some corona issue, or other things are there. We'll see that how it will be.
I wish Vandana was here today. She is the one who is teaching the course.
No, in fact, she yesterday wrote me that some corona issue is there.
Okay,
I did not request. I tried to call her, but I could not get her call or even, I understand that there's so what we'll do that when there will be a presentation for Nita.
No problem. That they can go ahead.
We'll
they
just
have an assignment. They go ahead. That is no problem. It is between them and their teacher.
Yes, that can be done.
So that is no problem.
So this will help us in professionalization of the course, especially for us, who are new entrants into this course.
Yeah,
I think it's very important for professionalization of this course.
The professionalization of the course in this, you see, what we require that through this, those who are working, I know some of you are working very hard for the institution, for yourself, especially for those, we are interested to see, like me, Professor S.Y. Shah, that some of you could get the international fellowship. Some of you could get the better opportunity, which I alone as a head of department, which my faculty member alone teaching the paper, I must admit are not in a position to do that. Without even I was not in a position to develop the international MOU with Ujberg University alone. So what is required that this is a paper or lifelong learning, a strong networking and partnership is very, very important. So our endeavor is to just provide you such kind of an opportunity. So how through this you see, like one day you can share that what are the fellowships where, sir, we can have some session only on that what are the international fellowship where our scholars could apply, what are the requirements, how to write the proposal for asking, if such professional kind of a thing, maybe in course of time, because I must have to see that how some international fellowship or a scholarship is granted to some of our talented, student scholars who are really working in the fields. So one session, maybe in course of time, I will require.
Your students are lucky to be in DU, where you had the MOU with so many international, how many university students get a chance to go to Germany for a 10 days workshop, all paid up,
No, science students were coming, sir. So
but adult education, who has gone? Which university in India has sent so many students to, Germany, all paid up?
Right.
So you are very fortunate group of people to get into DU with a very dynamic faculty and leader like Professor Rajesh and all these people. So he is always interested in promoting youngsters, but you should also show equal interest. It is not that you come whenever he wants. You should always be after him.
Nitish, you wanted to ask something? Yeah. Sir, Nitish wanted to ask.
Sir, I have one question, sir. So you told that there are several organizations in the world that is working in the field of the lifelong learning. You also quoted the name. Sir, I want
I am not hearing. Can you repeat? No. Somebody else is. Tell me.
Sir,
yeah, now you are audible.
Yeah, thank you. So, I had one question, sir. So many organizations are there working in the field of the lifelong learning. What are the stakes of the Asian countries in this organization? How the Asian perspectives of the lifelong learning being attended to this organization?
Sir, we cannot hear you.
I could not get the question.
Nitish, your voice is not clear. Please use headphone if you have.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Am I audible now, sir?
Yeah. Now
we can hear you.
Sorry for interruption, sir. Actually, I had one question, sir. There are so many international organizations working in the field of lifelong learning. So I want to ask that what are the stakes of the Asian or especially South Asian countries in that organization? Because Asian perspectives of the lifelong learning is totally different from the European perspectives or the American perspectives. So how do you think that these international organizations is convincingly modifying applying the lifelong learning in South Asian countries, sir? First question. And I have another question also, sir. May I ask?
Yeah, sure.
So other one is that we have not a single education qualification framework. Although we have the skill qualification framework. So how do you think that the single education qualification framework would help to enhance the lifelong learning situation in India, sir?
You see, work is going on, having a uniform qualification framework. Ministry has set up a committee and they are doing something. But regarding the, role of the different people in different organization, it is not necessarily people should be from India to talk about Asia, to talk about this, about their countries. The expert, in UIL, they have a global view. They may not be from this region, but generally you look at their staff. Today I was looking at this staff. This time I am seeing one lady, some Ayyappan, one lady is there, maybe from South India. She is there in the staff of only one person from India out of 30 people among the staff of India. Hello?
Yeah, you're audible, sir.
So there are staff members, they work to region wise. What their strategy is to identify a person from that region, commission a paper from that region, and they will pull it together. They take care of global developments. It is not that if they are European, they will not know what is happening here. They involve people from this region. They have identified the consultants. They give consultancy projects, to this. I know a couple of people from India done a consultancy paper from UIL when they wanted to bring global report on lifelong learning. And unfortunately, this time, ministry itself is not clear about lifelong learning. We could not give any data to them, So then they wrote to me. I said, I am helpless. Ministry said they don't have any policy, so no data is there. So that is why sometimes, different countries' information is not reflected in their report, because data is not going from here. They contact, everybody cannot send data. Ministry has a nodal officer to supply data for UN organization. So we have to route it through them. Even if I collect, they will contact that UN nodal officer for UN organization who gives data from the country. So that person says, I don't have the data. That person will contact National Literacy Mission or others, So there is no program, no data we could get. So it is not necessarily they are there, they will not know. They take especially UIL has a very global view. They know what is happening in which countries, who are the people associated with it. And they work very closely with the UNESCO regional office, UNESCO Delhi office. For any problem, they will write to Delhi office, for Delhi and Sri Lanka and Bangkok, and they're then regional office in Bangkok. So these two are their links. UNESCO office in Delhi, regional office in Bangkok, then it goes to UIL. So they have a mechanism to get in information about different countries, different organizations, different regions. Okay. Then ministry's qualification framework is a political question. I don't know when they will come. They have skill development ministry, and now with the new implementation policy strategies, I think this is one of the top priority program going to come up. Qualification framework. It will happen soon.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody, any question? Any researcher is there in this group? Nitish, Deepak, I see. Any other? Heaven Dahiya also I see. Anybody else is there? Research scholar?
Yes, sir. I'm Kumar Gaurav.
Okay, Kumar, you are here. Okay. So what do you see potentiality here, Gaurav? Internal, because this paper was not there and this is not a paper. So how do you see the prospects of internationalization through this, Gaurav?
Sir, I think I have not read that much, sir, about this international and things, but I see very much perspective for this, and I think it will be very good for the upcoming scholars or upcoming the classes, and it will be good, I think, sir.
Sir, there is no Commonwealth of learning, aspect in this, no, sir?
Yeah, I mentioned, but I did not go into detail.
Okay.
Commonwealth Foundation, Commonwealth of Learning. One important program which Commonwealth of Learning did was that lifelong learning for farmers in Asia.
Sure.
That is a very interesting program they did, Commonwealth, sometime back. Commonwealth of Learning has a lot of focus on information, ICT, technology, how it is being used. So,
Okay.
So Commonwealth of Learning is but they don't focus exclusively on lifelong learning. They have school education, teacher education, and so many areas. So lifelong learning is only one aspect. That is the thing.
Okay, that's very good, sir. That's very good. Sir, one session, because we did not intend it only as a paper, because they are here, some of them, to get the advantage. So the individual teacher is doing on that. But on these aspects, we see papers like technology mediated communication and learning. So I don't think so our teacher like Rahul or other will able to give a complete justice to all kind of a thing. So I will have to see in each paper the special session of our national international experts. So I'm trying Professor Santosh Panda, I think, Professor Igno, on that, good. Sir, if he can just work it out. Sir, I would like that one session, maybe in course of time, on various fellowship, scholarship, international level, available for them, sir. So how it could work, and this will not be a paper centric, sir.
No, I know it is a general thing.
It's a general. So one session I would like, so that I will see that our young scholars take advantage of that kind of situation, and they do not apply, sir. Thing is that we call that there is no employability in our field, but I share you, sir, that when the other week I was there in national organization for consultant of 60,000, I did not see any application of our scholar. One of our PhD scholar, Aslam, now Dr. Aslam, the ministry could directly offer to him. I called him that you can get a direct offer of 60,000 rupees. He said that I will be interested for more than that. I am working more than that. It is all right. That means there is no problem of employability for you, Dr. Aslam. So we'll like to see that at national level and international level, because employability is not a workshop, sir, where I can undertake the workshop and then employability is a continuous challenge where our scholars can see national and international level opportunities and things. And one of the areas which we are learning and our student scholar is taking advantage. A very good example is Salini Singh. Again, the young scholar has gone to from JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, and we see that how much she is involved in the lifelong learning process as a young scholar. So we wish that some of us are in touch with her in the academic and research area. So such fellowship may be granted to our scholar. This will be advantage. I have also interest in that, because I will write to add to my kind of department's achievements also.
No, so, students should also be interested. I remember when Regina came, we wanted to send some student. Shalini was doing PhD in JNU. So I asked my colleague Prof Rajesh Kumar, can you recommend one or two students? Then he said, my student Shalini is there. And she is good. So Shalini came and met. I said, okay, I will recommend you. So I wrote to her. And second time also she applied. So Regina asked me, what do you think? I said, no, she is bright. But interest should comes from student, opening is given. First we send her. But after that, she managed to, get impress people and get to one thing to another to another, So it all goes to her personal ambition and personal hard work.
Hard work also.
Hard work.
Yes.
So we are very happy to see such youngsters coming up by their own hard work. So, this time also we send some student, though she could not go physically online, but Regina was very impressed by that student. She wrote to me, I am very impressed by that student, IGNOU's MA program, So you must be knowing Vijayada. And, she was very happy with that girl. So we get feedback, and ultimately it is the student who should be keen, and then they must be ready to work hard, and then we can give some support.
Right, sir.
It is our recommendation will not carry weight unless student is competent. So it
Right,
is very, very important student. You see, that is why I feel no need to give a spoon feed. Now these
Right,
days,
sir.
everything is there on website.
Yes,
If they look at Google fellowships, best thing is to start with India. Commonwealth Foundation fellowships are offered for PhD students and teachers. Commonwealth Fellowship, many of the people have gone that.
Right,
Start
sir.
from here, Commonwealth Fellowship.
Yes,
Then
sir.
you have for Canada, Shastri Indo-Canadian Institute also offer fellowships. So Fulbright has a fellowship. So students know they must have interest. Yes, we want to go, we want to pursue. So they must show their interest. So personally, I don't feel we must spoon feed them.
Right,
Let them let them see that they want to. Then they will dig out and find information. It is in public domain. It is not secret.
Right.
All these UNESCO fellowship, Conf India fellowship, visiting, everything is there on their website. What are the criteria? Who can apply? When can come? So everything is there. So to let student search for it, and if they need some recommendation letter, if they need some other thing, then we can come to their help.
Certainly.
So that is the thing. So now world is open. Now with internet, everything, it is not secret. In our time, it is not easy. It was not easy to get information. Now everything is there. So
right.
let them make the best use of it. You have contact with Germany. So, Wurzburg University is there. Denmark is there, so lot of openings are there. Now it is for you to encourage your student apply. Now you have given a channel open, you have sent them to Germany, they have come back, they have seen how the world is there. Now it is up to them to do PhD, whether they like that sort of life or not. One student told me after 10 days, I don't want to go there for PhD. It is a very dull place, boring place. So it is up to them. Let them try. Now we are here, everybody is connected. So there is no dearth of fellowship or any such thing. Do that. Work hard. Now focus should be on publication. Write a paper. You must write and publish.
Right.
That is very important.
Len, are you doing something? Our silent spectator, Len.
Lynn is there?
Yeah, he's there. He's very calm and cool. He's enjoying lockdown, sir. I saw him. He's enjoying lockdown.
But he came and he was he had a lot of interest. He collected a lot of material. He is working hard as far as I know. But once he has finished something, then he will come to you.
Yeah, I think he's doing something, sir.
He is working. He is working on a very interesting topic, history of Indian Adult Education Association.
That's a very important. That's
very
a very
important topic, So, and materials are there for him. He does not have to run around.
Right. Right,
sir. So I can, within 2 years, he can finish a PhD.
Yes, sure, sir. Sure.
Ask him to work hard.
Yeah. Lynn? Yeah. Okay. Prapti, do you have any problem? I see Prapti Chadha. Or they all have just showing their, thing are not available. I don't know.
The students.
No, sir.
You are here, na?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Because the 4 students who came for our community program, I think only Parinita has worked out the paper.
Parinita has, she has worked out on paper.
Yes, sir. So the development was that I've collected the data and now I'm just conceptualizing it. Once the dissertation is done, and from that, the goal is to also
have a paper.
Yes.
Yeah. That is good.
One paper she has again given on this transgender also. So you also develop one paper on that, sir. Yeah.
No problem.
Sir, I think the ICAM thing got stalled, sir, because of the lockdown.
Lockdown and Corona is spreading. ICAM is such a thing. They have to come close to each one. So no doctor is ready to do a camp in the slum. till the lockdown is over. So it is stalled for at least 1 month. Nothing will happen because we cannot take the responsibility of sending students to slum and they get caught. University has strict order that not to send student to field work.
Yes, sir. I met the Vice Chancellor. He said, why are you coming personally to meet him? And I had bouquet with him also, with me also. He said, you came with bouquet also. I said, it is clean, sir. So there's no problem with the bouquet. I'm coming first time. So he said that go ahead with all the agenda you have with the department. And I'm closely watching that your department is very actively, working on certain area. But I said that my strength is the young, students and researchers. They will have to work. They have to bring out good papers, and they will have to realize the dream of the institution. So certainly they will be.
Now more paper comes, it is problem. I see Delhi University teachers, students papers are more in Indian Journal. So everybody says you are publishing only DU student faculties.
I think, sir, our students are more, sir. Our scholars are more, and we are motivating them regularly, sir. So what we'll do that we can have our own publications also, sir.
You must bring out your own journal. Department publication. That will be a good idea. All the PhD thesis, one paper. You edit a paper, volume like that.
Yes, sir. We'll do that, sir. We'll also do like that. And we'll also try to see that how these things are. Thank you, sir. Anybody have to add anything?
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Good to see Sir Shah again.
Okay. Nice.
Professor Rajesh has been always active. Because I have some technical issue with my laptop and my audio was not responding, so I used my phone on this.
Okay.
Changed my. Yes, well, in fact, it's quite challenging with this COVID is prevailing too much. Even my own building is not safe.
Okay.
Even my own locality is not safe. So I doesn't go out much, just stay in room and then apparently I'm working on the same thing that Sarsa has mentioned that I have been collecting some materials and I'm working on it. It was quite hectic. So it has a lot of work to do. So with this pandemic, I'm working on it slow and steady because I have to take even if something feels in our body, not discomfort, and then we tend to feel that, oh, is it related with this COVID or something like that? It pressurizes us. So I'm taking care of myself as well as working in a slow manner, sir. Anyway, this is a good.
Now take care of your health. Health is more important. Because university, did they tell the students to vacate hostel and go back home?
Yes.
They may tell, sir. Now the Delhi government has come out. They have left it to, since it is a central university. So they will see how the response of central government is.
Okay.
So some of our locality friends are also leaving their hometowns. I don't know what will happen.
At least I think for 2 months nothing will happen. So better to go home because it will increase till the end of this April, May, mid-May. So you can come back after mid-June.
What our locality has been passed away with COVID-19. And then even in my building, in the ground floor, there is one positive and they are in quarantine.
Okay.
So we are asked not to work out, not to go outside.
Okay. So this is a good opportunity to build your immunity and to work hard because everything is available online. If Wi-Fi is working, you can work very hard. You have more time to read.
Yes, sir.
Sir, I have just a query from
Sir, Abdesh is a permanent teacher of Delhi University.
Okay.
And we are happy that regular teachers are also taking interest in that. And he is a teacher in charge of history of DCSE college, sir.
Okay.
And Abdesh is now enrolled in our department.
Sir, just a query from Professor Shah. that the teachers who are teaching in this Delhi University, on as sir is say that I am a permanent faculty of Delhi University. So in this adult education, I am pursuing PhD, and for us, how it possible to have some scholarship being the faculty member as well as the research scholar. So is there any conflict of these two things?
There is no conflict. You know, the UGC's this Commonwealth Fellowship is open for all. You know, as a teacher, you can get Commonwealth Fellowship to pursue PhD. And as a teacher fellow, you can do your research in any department in DU. What is the problem?
No, just it was a query, sir. That's why
you are in a better situation than many other. You have a permanent job income and then you are doing research, you know. So many researchers don't have a permanent job and income. So they may be in a doubly stressed out. So you can do a nice research at your own pace. So there is no hurry for job. You have a job. So whatever research you do, you should do it nicely, quality wise, you know. So that will take you to further places. Okay, do good research.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Right, sir.
Sir, Avdesh and other teachers are there from Delhi University, and we are giving papers through, LOCF in the college. So we are interested this year that all third-year students must be informed about our courses at post-graduation level and also courses at this LOCF level that we are giving some papers. So the third-year student must see some interest in lifelong learning and extension. As some of the teachers, now there are 5-6 permanent teachers who are enrolled in our department. So they will have to give the opportunity through the final year students, how our master degree course are there and how some papers of LOCF are being taken in these colleges where our scholars can work as guest and ad hoc. So, I also met today Vice Chancellor and told that we are giving some paper at undergraduate level under LOCF, and he said no problem, do the peer review. So we are in the process of peer reviewing, and we'll see that in course of time these teachers will help in taking these things, and once the field will grow at UG and PG level, certainly it will be linked with the employability, internationalization, and international opportunity. So at last, what I will say, sir, is that international organization is not a paper of some semester. It is not so, what I say, that this is not simply a paper. I do not see all these things as a paper, because sometimes what we see, sir, that if we something incorporate at UG or PG level, then our interest become limited to content or curriculum level kind of a thing, and then we are interested for some question answer and then passing it out. So such papers like technology mediated learning or this international paper is not simply a content or curriculum of our master degree, because we have just taken a paper as it is what you have given, but it is also the opportunity to get the better scope and opportunities for internationalization, and also wish to see that how such scope are there. Parnita was working, I think, I have to say she has already given with which country? Ireland, Parnita?
Sir, Hungary.
Sorry, I'm sorry. Hungary. So you reminded me, I have to send something. So something will be sent to him and to other institutions also. I am keenly interested that, sir, some of the MOUs are again further intensify. So in that, she is helping, Nitish is doing the things. I think other Deepak and other scholars will also take the interest so that the issues will be taken up. Sir, thank you. I will not, further stress this session. And I'm high,
we are all sitting at home.
No, sir. What will say that such more opportunity will be there. So I will see this is the opportunity, sir. And once we are there in all kind of a deliberation, these are the positive vibrations, sir. So we always do not have the negative vibration of corona. Perhaps we can defeat corona by all such positive vibrations, sir.
I thought this is a blessing in disguise. Instead of holding a physical meeting when we come to Delhi University, offer a cup of tea, travel, and now here we are interacting more freely, comfort of our home.
And I also feel very comfortable taking my cup of tea only, and not offering even to the resource person what to talk of others.
And
so,
university also save a lot of money.
No
conveyance, no honorarium, no tea, nothing.
Yeah, right, sir. Right, sir. No PhD kind of a thing. Nothing. Everything is free of cost. So it is a boon in disguise for the government also.
Government, yeah.
Right.
Now they will say, okay, in future you hold your conferences like that online.
Hey, it has already, later has come to departments, sir. So what virtual facilities are required so that each department can convert one room as a recording room. And this is the platform where like today's session and other sessions can be recorded and students can go through. There will be no need of teachers. That recorded kind of it. So thank you, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks everybody for joining.
Thank you.
And we hope, sir, that we'll meet again in future.
Sir, Rajesh, sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. I have cross-checked. Technology paper is semester 2 only.
Only need 2, no?
Yes, semester 2.
Okay. Why it is there? Because I have also a copy of timetable in my room. I used to see that whether classes are taking place or not. Because at this time, sometimes our faculty member might have some problem, might have some issue. So where there are no, papers happening, we try to organize such kind of, guest sessions, so that a student and a scholar can get the additional advantage of what the teachers are teaching. This is why we will see that how national, international, programs, like you have a program of 8 and 9 on RPL. I think some of you might be benefited on that. Such opportunities will be made available to you. And you are cooperating a lot on this issue. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Anything else to say?
No, sir, that's all. Rahul sir's paper was confusion. So technology paper is semester 2 and his paper on field techniques is in semester 3.
But semester 3 is not going on. No? This time is only semester 2 and 4.
Yes, sir. So technology
4 is there.
Yes, technology mediated communication is his paper.
Yeah, I will see that one or two special session or dissertation, how to write research papers and all these things. Such things will also be there in course of time. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.